Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about the Pythagorean Theorem. So similar to the problems that you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder, this is the speedrun version where we go through it pretty quickly. If you want the normal version, I'll link that in the description below. For your Ricasso Recap, you should already know how to solve square root equations, and you should know how to round decimals. If you want refreshers on any of those topics, I'll link videos in the description below. Please go watch those before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. It says, what is the length of the missing leg? Leg just means this side of the triangle. And then it says, if necessary, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so this is a right triangle because it has the red half square in the corner. So I know it's a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem can only be used on right triangles. And it's named after the famous mathematician Pythagoras. The Pythagorean theorem formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, you know that b is this, okay? So we're trying to find b. C, let's start with c. C is, there's a fancy math word for c. It's called the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse in a right triangle is always directly across from the right angle. Look for the right angle, go across, you know that that's your hypotenuse. So in this case, C is going to be 8. B we don't know. Process of elimination must mean that A is 6. So now we're going to plug in our numbers. We know that A is 6, so replace it with a 6. We don't know what B is, leave it be. And we know that C is 8. Now, 6 to the second power is 36. 8 to the second power is 64. And now we have this equation here. Okay, we should know how to solve equations. You know, minus 36 on both sides. You get b squared equals 28. And once you get here, we should say, oh, that's a square root equation. So we square root both sides, and we get b equals 5.29. But it says round to the nearest tenth. So really, we're going to get 5.3 final answer. All right, for this next type of problem, you are trying to find C, and it's a right triangle, so we can use the Pythagorean theorem. And you are wondering, how do I know which one is A, which one is B? Well, the answer is, doesn't matter. You could make A 40, B 75, or you could switch it. Okay, as long as you get C correct, the A and B can be switched, doesn't matter. So I'll just do 40 is A, 75 is B, and now we just solve from here. And after you've solved it all, okay, here's the work, should be getting C equals 85. All right, the last type of problem is a word problem. So if you want to pause the video, go ahead and read this. All right, now that you have read this, we have a story problem, which means that you get to see one of my famous drawings. So we have Maddie's house, boom. This is Maddie's house. Then north of her is Emily's house, boom, Emily's wonderful house. And Emily. And then Carter's house is due east. And here's how I remember directions. Never eat soggy waffles. So east would be Carter's house. Boom, Carter's house. And then they give us some numbers. So they say from Maddie to Carter, so from here to here, is 6.5. And it's 9.8 from Emily to Carter's, and then they want us to find how far is Maddie to Emily's. So this is our unknown, let's call it A, because here's our right angle, so this is C, let's call this B. And now we're just going to plug in our numbers and solve. Okay, here is the work once you plug in all of your numbers, and oops, I labeled, let's see. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because you can switch A and B. So I called this B, this A. All right, so you should have gotten 7.3. Okay, here is our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 problems on your own, and when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, you should have gotten that a equals 4.1. However, the problem does not say find the missing leg, find a. It says what is the perimeter. So perimeter just means find, the distance along the outside. So we're just going to add up all of the lengths. So we're going to do, 4.1, 6.3, 7.5. When you add those, you get 17.9 for the perimeter. And this would be 17.5 centimeters. And for the second problem, here is the work. Okay, here is my wonderful drawing of the storage unit with Tyler the stick figure. And notice it says how far does Tyler walk? So this is also a perimeter problem. Okay, it's asking you how far did he walk around the storage unit. So you should have gotten C equals 5.8, and then you take that and add them all together, you get 13.8 as your final answer. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.